boom, boom. Hey, shalom! We are back and better than ever. Thanks for joining. Today we have obviously special guests, people familiar, from being from my channel before, newer faces. So, Mike, go ahead. You can introduce yourself. Or hold on, let me do this for you. Go ahead.
Hey, my name's Michael. I got a channel named Metaphysics Mike, and my content is focused on helping Christians break free from some of the traditional errors of the forefathers of the Christian faith. And I'm pumped to be here talking about Converge with you. Thanks for having me, Will.
Thank you. Next, we got Tavish. Shalom, brother.
Hello, my name is Tavish. I have a grand total of 1 video so far, so really keeping up the pace there, but I do plan on making more. I want to really focus on like specific passages and like kind of a deep Greek exegetical outlook, because I did go to school, and I took 2 years of Greek, took 1 year of Hebrew, so definitely want to bring that to the table.
And then people can find you on different social media platforms.
I'm on TikTok and YouTube.
Tavish the Friendly Heretic.
Yeah.
At least you're friendly, right?
What a name.
Absolutely. I am friendly.
And then we got God's friend Jesse. What's up, brother?
Not much. Yeah, I'm Jesse. You can find my channel on TikTok and YouTube. It's called Let the Bible Speak. And my purpose is basically just to bring people to the true God and let him do the rest. That's what I do.
Beautiful, beautiful, man. So thank you guys for coming on, taking the time to, I really appreciate it. So we all went to this event called Converge. And before we kind of talk about it, I wanted to play this video for everyone watching.
Like meeting new people and seeing what the Lord is doing in the lives of fellow believers? It is not often that a large group of believers in one God, from various backgrounds, get together to celebrate and fellowship around the unity of Yahweh.
So what you and I are about here is we're about a relationship with the Lord and about bringing the Shema. Let's not wait until the kingdom is set up. Let's have, hear, O people of God, Yahweh is our God.
He's a God who not only hears and comes, but rescues and delivers when we call out to him. And then he strengthens us and gives us victory over the evil one. I mean, come on.
Converge is a biblical Unitarian festival that offers a fresh environment where you can be inspired, form new connections with others, and reignite your passion and purpose.
This is the Great Commission, that we would make disciples. How do you make disciples? Help people to understand there is only one God. There's not 3 gods in one. There is one God. His name is Yahweh.
At Converge, you'll encounter Unitarian Christians who will help strengthen your walk with the Lord God and grow your excitement of knowing him and his son Jesus.
All right, and that was the event that we went to. So real quick, I've heard about it from the UCA. Jesse, did I tell you about this, or did you know about this?
About what exactly?
The event.
About the event itself? You did.
Okay, that's what I thought. And then, Mike, did I tell you about it, or did you?
I learned through the UCA. Brandon, he got a hold of me and told me about it. Said he's like, you got to come to this.
Okay, and then Tavish, I actually got to formally meet you there because I've known Jesse and Mike from TikTok and YouTube and everything. But you heard it then from the UCA, right? Or?
Yeah, I think it was the UCA Facebook page. They posted about it. So, because I had heard about it like 3 months before, and I was like, oh, I really want to go, especially since it was close to where I'm living. So,
oh yeah, I know, it was 50 minutes from my house. The only thing is, I do kind of wish I stayed over, just because the 15-minute drive, it kind of was a lot leaving. And then I missed the campfire thing, Mike, that you posted. I was so mad about that. I was like, what? Oh,
Yeah,
I
somewhere back down in front of where the cafeteria was, there was like this really cool spot blocked off. They had a big fire pit, a bunch of tables and chairs, and yeah, they lit them up. It was nice, and I pulled out. I got that shot, posted it. It was a good time.
it was so good. So, because I know after the event, a lot of people like on TikTok, especially, didn't even know of this event or anything like that. The video that actually just played was in Hiram, Ohio, back in 2019. I believe that was the first one, and then COVID happened. They had to shut it down, but then it was back again, and especially since it was in Ohio. Because I think they've had previous events like in Georgia and Texas, and it's hard for a lot of people to come to this one location. But we met people from I don't even remember, some, like, it was in Europe.
Yeah, I met
Right.
a guy from Australia.
Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was I don't know, it was crazy, but it was super cool too. So I figured we can all talk about, well we can start with Friday. Right. I got there, I think, first. And then Jesse, I was able to hit you up. And then Mike, you were calling me, where do we park?
Yeah.
Well, it was a cool setup though, where it was like at the different campuses, and we can just walk, get to wherever, and classes weren't in session, so it was just super easy just to kind of get to everywhere.
Agreed. I thought it was nice.
And then how was for you guys, because you three did sleep over, like how was that?
Cold. The AC in my room was super cold.
Dude, me too. I was freezing the first night. Luckily, I had like a blanket in my car, which I got for the second night. But yeah, I was so cold the first night.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, we did bring blankets, so we weren't too cold, but it was nice. I thought the places, we stayed in one of the townhouses, grouped in with a few other people, and it was great.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
And then the one speaker, Will Barlow, Pastor Will Barlow from Kentucky, he gave one of the first talks there about building bridges instead of walls. I thought that was super cool. Really having us come together with our biblical Unitarian ideas, whether you're more of a Socinian or an Arian, Torah observant, non-Torah observant, but understanding who the one true God of Israel is. And I mean, that's important. Mike, I know you were running around interviewing a whole bunch of people. You had me, Tavish, and Jesse on. And how was that for you, running around kind of getting people's perspectives?
Well, I have no experience at Unitarian conferences. I mean, honestly, in general, I haven't really gone to that many. So I just figured we're there. We're going to hear people speak. I wasn't sure if I'd even have time to, or if that would be weird to try and like pull people out and be like, hey, can I interview on camera? But thankfully there was a lot of gaps, and they made space for people to socialize. And so it ended up working out great. And it was an awesome experience to speak to people and learn why they were there. You mentioned how Will Barlow gave that message regarding unity. And to me, that was interesting. The first thing they come in, right? It's not this heavy teaching on how, God's one person, or how Jesus didn't pre-exist or something. He's like, hey, let's talk about unity. And I thought he gave a lot of value to us in that. That's probably what we needed to hear, because we do come from a lot of different perspectives. That's one thing I saw. A lot of people had different views. There were some Christadelphians there too, right? Who don't think, Satan is like a real person. But that dynamic made something I don't think I've ever experienced before, which was just a unity despite all those differences. I feel like you just don't see that a lot. People take their differences very seriously. at times. And so to see everybody come together to do that was great. I thought that was unique. It was unique to Converge, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, Jesse,
Yeah, I
Tavish,
mean,
yeah, go ahead, Tav.
yeah, like part of why I call myself, a heretic, the friendly heretic, is just to kind of like break down that wall. Like, because I don't care if people call me that. Like, it does not bother me at all. And like but it also like it disarms people a little bit, and it makes them a little bit more receptive to what I'm saying. If I already kind of admit that the quiet part out loud, and like that's I'm really glad that they did talk a lot about unity, because that is one thing that I want to see happen. Like, I want to see all of us, and not even just Unitarians, but like Christians as a whole. Like, we need to come together and like be unified and fight for truth and goodness and all this stuff, because we're very divided in the church. And so yeah, it was a good message for sure.
Jesse, what did you think? I know, like, I feel like you work and then you TikTok. So when you actually got to hang out with us in real life and you're kind of hearing the messages of like what kind of went through your mind?
I'll be honest with you, it's like heaven on earth, be about around fellow believers. And I didn't really pick at who had a difference than me. We had one common ground, and it was just lovely being around people that thought like me, and it was a great event. I do agree with building bridges. And sometimes we need to decide what is salvational and what is not, because we all come from a place. Personally, I had trouble letting go of pre-existence. I thought Jesus is the Word in John 1:1. It seemed disrespectful to say he was only a man, but it was something I had to grow out of, and other people deserve that type of patience.
Yeah,
Absolutely. That was I love both of what you said, and something I want to add is that we played cards together that night. And Tavish, you and I had a conversation about some slightly different ways we see the word angel. Right.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, like, because it started basically the first thing I said to you was, "Oh yeah, I left a comment on your video arguing with you." Because to me, it's like that's like kind of how I become friends with people, is just by arguing with them. Like, I love arguing, I love discussing, and it's never an adversarial thing where I'm like trying to like prove people wrong or like be the right one, be the smartest. I just like to process ideas and like see if we can come to a better idea together,
Amen.
And even just being able to understand each other's value in Christ despite the differences, right? Even if it's like we don't come together, right? Or just quote agree, having that unity in the one God and putting that as a priority, I think unifies us in a way that's like us leaning into our commonalities. And I think that gives us strength as a whole, as a group, as a unit, right? And just the movement that provides more power, more clarity to it. I think that's something the UCA does very well. Like, they're focused on the nature of God in Christ, right? And they allow a lot of different perspective on other things for people to come in based on that. And that's just, I totally agree, guys. I thought that was powerful, and our conversation's a perfect example.
Even going with Will Barlow for a second, he interviewed someone on his channel because he himself, he's not a Torah observer. He doesn't. I don't think. I'm trying to pick my words carefully. Not that like he's against the law, but with me, fall's coming up. So we have Sukkot coming up. We have Yom Kippur. We have Yom Teruah, the Feast of Trumpets. So that's something me and my family, we acknowledge, and we see Yeshua within the feasts. And I think those are really important, along with Sabbath and everything. And it's cool because Will is not a quote unquote Torah observer, but he even had people on his channel discussing like, why are you a Torah observer? Should this be something that believers today should follow? How do we distinguish it? And I thought it was just super cool where you can have someone like Will Barlow, who doesn't, he doesn't call himself a Torah observer, and he doesn't necessarily do these things, but he's still interested and he's willing to hear out the other side. I think that's like the biggest thing. We are around people who understand that there is one God, not a holy Cerberus that is we can't understand, but we have to understand because it's a salvational issue. But we can just hear the other person out. I feel like as soon as we bring the Trinity in, like I was at work today and I was talking to a buddy of mine because he doesn't understand. He really doesn't believe in the Trinity, but he also he really doesn't have an opinion of it. And I told him, he's like, do people really get that upset about it? I'm like, yeah, it's like spitting in your kid's face. Like people get so angry and so many ad homs to where they will say that your mom is a $5 WHR, or shut the F up, or I'm gonna knock your teeth in, just by saying
the Sam Shamoon treatment.
For sure. Soon to be the Albial treatment. He's taking over for his uncle.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh, it's so funny because it's true. Hey, and something. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. By the way, well,
go ahead, dude.
So also, to me, what we're talking about represents the reality of human opinions, right? That's the real diversity, and it's only an illusion that doesn't exist within Trinitarianism. I mean, despite the fact that they have a long history of, the Orthodox breaking off from the Catholics at the Great Schism, there were many reasons, but what was one of those? The Trinity, the Filioque. Should we add it to the creed? Should we not? And then even going on within the Orthodox, you have the Miaphysites who broke off from them, right? And they still have a remaining tradition until this day. But even within their own sects, they disagree amongst themselves. And some of them take it very seriously. They don't really popularize those differences. They try and keep them on the low. But I just think that's worth saying, right? Because Trinitarianism, they seem to present like they have this special appeal of, well, we have the church and we have our traditions and we all believe the same thing. Like, not really. Like, not really. Like, when you question them on the Trinity, they have very different opinions about aseity, right? About how exactly the relations work. They have varying degrees to which they will allow the use of analogies, right? And so I just think that's worth pointing out that what we saw there, that diversity is real. That's real life. And I just think many other groups, they put up this front like they have this complete unity when they really don't.
No, they don't. They don't. And well, to your Sadi comment, a lot of people don't understand that aseity is the uncasuality of aseity.
You pulling an Albie on me? He's just making up words.
I'm just literally just telling you it's the definition of aseity is the uncasuality of aseity. So, Mike, there might be someone here who is watching who doesn't know what aseity is. So I'm just telling them it's the uncasuality of aseity.
he said it's his nature. No, it's not. But
okay, so we got this little Converge packet. We got a whole lot of other things. We got pens and stickers. We got these super cool name tags. Mine's under my snow globe. I don't want to pull it and break it. So I wanted to pull some of these things up just so everyone can see. What's this one? This one was the first one. So this was our schedule essentially. So this is the schedule. So we checked in from 3 to 5. We had a dinner, we had our evening sessions, and then our evening activities. So when Mike was talking about us playing spades, and by the way, Mike is not a very good spades player. He's a very good debater. He's a very good person for standing up for biblical Unitarianism, but he's not good at spades. He doesn't know how to count.
Yeah, very funny, Will. Me and Tavish beat you. Like,
wait, but Mike, that's
we won.
Why, Mike, that's why you're a Unitarian, though, because you like the number 1, right? Whenever you bid your hands, you only bid 1. You really had like 3 or 5. So that's why you're a Unitarian. But,
come on. It's hard to tell at times. That's so funny.
But it was so we had like the evening activities where there were so many amazing people that we met. I don't know about you guys, but when I was first really studying the Bible, I was studying with Jehovah's Witnesses. And I have a lot of love and respect for a lot of my Jehovah's Witness friends, but I just don't agree with everything. So me personally, I felt really lost because I'm like, I don't believe in the Trinity, but I don't believe in that Charles Taze Russell and these other people are part of this 144,000 who will only go to heaven. And I have to listen to this governing body. And like, it seemed to contradict scripture. So I really felt lost. So one of the people I got to meet was John Schoenheit, who is one of the creators behind the REV Bible right here. It was cool to meet him, talk to him. I'm actually going to have him on my channel. He was nice enough to agree to come on for an interview. But it was so cool to actually meet him because I discovered him back in 2017. I've seen his YouTube videos and it was awesome. So, meeting a lot of these people, Bill Schlegel, Brandon Duke, Sean Finnegan, Dr. Dale Tuggy. I think that was also the cool part where you got to meet all these amazing, smart people on like that level, right? Like, what did you guys think of all that?
Well, I talked to a few people myself, and the one guy I have trouble saying his last name. Did you say it was Bill Schlegel?
Yes.
Schlegel, thank you. We were talking about John 17:5 in the Greek, and I got to share some things with him about why I think it should be translated a certain way, which would actually reinforce what he says about Jesus asking for something that was promised to him. And I also asked him about Hebrews 1:8 and his thoughts on Psalm 45:6. Could it be translated this way? And he actually showed me that in the Hebrew why it wouldn't work. And it was really nice to know that so that I don't continue trying to tell people the wrong thing. And a couple other people I talked to, but I was a little bit intimidated, because I'm not the most outgoing person. And these people are well respected, and some people are comfortable in their ways, and maybe they don't want a new person offering suggestions. But it was nice talking to some people like that.
No,
Yeah,
I totally get that, and I think too, like I get the intimidation. Like I get that too. I felt a little geeky like when I was running up to them and everything. But I feel like these are people who as a biblical Unitarian, like they understand what it's like to be the black sheep, right? So I think other people wouldn't want you to like question them, or you ask them, hey, can I translate it as this? I think this means this. Am I right or wrong? Like, but a lot of the people there, I think just because of the nature of what they believe, how we believe the same, it's like they welcome that. You know what I mean? Like I know you felt intimidated, but after, like Jesse, when Sunday came around, how did you still feel that, or was it more comfortable?
I mean, it started to become easier. Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Perfect. Tavish, what were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say just Bill. Like, I think he's really underrated. I actually, he's a personal friend of mine. Like, I've been to his house a few times. Yeah, I mean, he lived in Israel for like 20 years or something like that as a professor, where he mostly taught biblical geography. But he's like fluent in Hebrew, like super smart guy. Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to meet too many new people. I mean, because I've already knew Dale. Like, I've known him for a number of years.
But did you meet him though? And
I met him actually at the church in White House, Tennessee. It's near Nashville.
Okay.
He moved there. What would that have been? 2018, I think, or 2017. And I was actually going to school, or I just started school. I actually just posted about this on Facebook, but the whole story of me getting kicked out of school.
Intense story.
Yeah, I won't go into it here because it's kind of long. But I mean, long story short, they found out I didn't believe in the Trinity, and I was starting to change some people's minds, or at least make them think about it. And they said, yeah, we don't want you coming back next year. I was like, okay. And but anyway, so I met them, Dale and Bill, a little bit later, when I was going to that school, because there was a church there that was a biblical Unitarian church. And also, interesting about John Schoenheit, the first time I saw him, like one of his videos, it was not at all related to Unitarianism. It was actually about open theism. Because I had been looking into that, and one of his videos popped up, and then like later I was looking into Unitarianism and all that, and I found him again, and I was like, oh, I know this guy. So it's pretty interesting. I didn't get to talk to him, but I wish I had.
Okay. So let's go into, because we had these workshops. And at first, I think I was even talking to you guys about it, and I was so confused, because when I hear workshop, like I take my kids to on Saturdays to either Home Depot or Lowe's for like the kids workshop where you actually build something. So I'm like, what are we building? Like I didn't really understand. So the workshops though were different talks that were given, and just so you guys can see, there was one song leading with psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs. Tote time with Susie. Why do bad things happen to good people? John Schoenheit. 5 helpful tips for starting a house church. Johnny Barnes. Both of them actually are with the Biblical Unitarian .com and on the YouTube page. And then we had a becoming trauma informed, forgiving and reconciliation. What does it look like? Parenting with love and logic, reclaiming wholeness, the truth about porn and the hope beyond it, touring the Bible lands, and Kumihimo.
Kumihimo.
Come on, you don't know Japanese? Get on it, man. Come on.
Bracelet weaving, yeah. So like those were all the workshops on Saturday, and then they started at 1:00, and then 2:00 on the next page they had transforming our minds, loving the Old Testament, healing from trauma, remembering what God has done, cultivating a quiet heart, healing practices for the wounded soul. Bill Schlegel here did another look at John 8:58. And I didn't go to it because at the 1:00, I guess Dale was having a talk, and I went to that talk, and it went beyond the 2:00 mark. So I just stayed, because like, what's the point? I can't, once at 2:00, once it starts, the room is closed, so you wouldn't be able to get into it. Then we have faith, sexuality, and gender. And then God wants difficult people. So those are just some of the different discussions that were available, which I thought were really good. I think one of my complaints was there were a few I wanted to go to, but you can't. You have to pick one out of the 2, 4, 6, 8. You had 10. You had 10 things to pick from at the 1:00, and then 10 things to pick at the 2:00. But I was going to say we can go into detail on this. We can in 1 second. So me, Tavish, and Mike, we all went to Dr. Dale Tuggy's discussion, which was called what? Orthodox versus Folksodox.
Folksodox.
Yeah, and stuff with the early church. Mike streamed it on his channel. I had it on mine. The UA also has it on their channel. Now Jesse, though, because all three of us, we were all stuck with Dale. Jesse, though, which isn't a bad thing. It's definitely not a bad thing. But I was going to ask you, Jesse, which one did you go to for the 1:00?
I think that I went to 2, one about forgiveness and the other about the Old Testament. I don't remember which times they fell.
So the first one was the 1:00, forgiveness and reconciliation. What does it look like? And it was with Andy. Cisneros.
Loving the Old Testament.
And then Loving the Old Testament was at the 2:00, and it was Anna Brown.
Yeah.
So just for everyone, just because you can go back and you can actually listen to Dale's talk, everything that we heard. So I was going to say, for the forgiveness and reconciliation, tell us your thoughts on that, and then like what did you learn or appreciate about the talk?
Well, I don't remember a whole lot about the class because it was really brief and they tried to compact a lot. But I did ask a question that he actually spent some time on, and it opened some doors in the class that I think a lot of people may have been curious about. Was, if you choose to forgive someone, but you choose not to associate with someone to protect yourself, is that true forgiveness? And so it opened the door to talk about that, to where it can be a good thing, but at the same time, it can be a bad thing. And like I said, I don't have a lot memorized from that class because it was a really short time. But I think forgiveness is super important when Jesus says, "Forgive that you may be forgiven." And I'm a forgiving person, but sometimes, I have trouble with like distancing myself from people that have hurt me, or shutting things out of my life that would bring me back. So I have to ask myself, am I truly forgiving? And I thought that was the best class to go to find out information about that. Yeah.
Okay. So then, last question for you, and then I'll pick on Tavish and Mike. What did you think of the second one, the Loving the Old Testament?
I mean, she brought up some really cool points. I do remember more from that class though, because lately I have really been loving the Old Testament. I know Jesus isn't God, but I want to know who Messiah was supposed to be. And so she says, pay attention to repetitive words in a passage, how a passage opens and closes. Names are important. So she showed me certain key elements of context that may convey a hidden meaning in the passage. And I thought that was awesome. And I could honestly go to a 2-year school on such a class.
Yeah. That's one I really wanted to go to. So then after that, we had plenty of speakers, not just Will Barlow. We had Sean Finnegan, we had Stan Chi. So I have them right here. So Will Barlow gave the talk on keeping the unity, which we were talking about. Sean Finnegan gave a talk about God is moving in our time. Stan Chi talked about what are you busy doing. Victor Gluckin, don't lose the love. Amber Kane talked about poured out. And then David Sowers talked about God's faithfulness and our obedience. Now, I loved these talks. And one of the things I liked about this talk, these talks all together really, is like nothing was strictly just focused on, hey, the Trinity is a bunch of crap. I don't believe in it. Like it was also empowering us with the Holy Spirit, having us to be like-minded believers, have the faith and love of Jesus, Yeshua within ourselves. Like it was also a very uplifting service too. You know what I mean? It wasn't just here to bash on Christians or Trinitarians, really, I should say. What did you guys kind of think about some of the other talks?
Yeah, with Sean Finnegan's, I really liked his because it was really just about like all the things that different biblical Unitarian groups are doing around the world. And it's nice to hear that because there are so many of us that feel alone. I mean, I don't have like a Unitarian community where I'm at. But it's just nice to know that there are groups out there and there is a movement that's happening that like I want to be more a part of. Like a big thing for me after this conference is like I want to be more involved. I want to make videos. I want to, talk to people on TikTok, which I've been doing. So I'm really trying to get more involved in spreading this movement and, fighting for it.
No, yeah, and I totally hear that. I know, and Mike can attest to this. I've been harassing Mike probably even last year of getting on freaking. I'm like, dude, go on YouTube, start doing stuff on YouTube, start posting the arguments that like people are presenting you. And Mike has gotten so popular where Sean even brought him up as one of the guys. Like, hey, if you know who Metaphysics Mike is, check him out. Where even Sean brought Mike on. I don't know if it was Sean's channel or like the Unitarian Christian Alliance channel, but like I saw the little video. It was like getting to know Metaphysics Mike or something like that. That was pretty cool.
He's got a podcast, Restitutio. Yeah, it was cool. He had me on. We just talked about my story as well as just his thoughts. It was great. To add to what Tavish was saying, I think I had somewhat of an unrealistic expectation as to the focus of Unitarianism specifically, because when I was looking at the piece of paper, what's it called? Oh my gosh, it's not a planner. What is it? It's the brochure. No.
Yeah, it's a brochure.
When I was looking at that, I was surprised that there wasn't like a lot of things on like focused on specific topics, or Bill Schlegel, he focused on John 8:58, right? So I figured I would have seen things like that everywhere. That was like, I thought that's what the conference would have been about. So I was like, well, it's just very generalized. But the more I thought about it, I think what Tavish said is right, that those are the types of things that I think a lot of people need, and to come and just to find unity on together and help with. And even as Jesse was talking about, there are great questions that were asked. And so at the same time, that's actually a pretty cool angle, because it's a Unitarian conference, right? We all know we believe this one truth, but hey, we also are real people, and we have questions about forgiveness, right? And about all these other topics. So I also think that was sort of cool, right? At the same time. And I was with you though. I was at Dale's presentation, and they also doubled because they did a Q&A after. So I didn't get to check. I didn't get to go to any of the other things either after that. But I certainly enjoyed what Dale brought. His presentation, I thought, was great. It was deep. He gives a lot of historical facts, and that stuff is beneficial for me. And so I'd say they really seem to have something that would probably be encouraging and beneficial for everybody, right? For sure.
Yeah, that's the cool thing. Like, is like, I mean, just going over it, like parenting with love and logic. I think we're all parents here except Jesse. Jesse's the only smart one.
Oh, come on, man.
Well,
don't be like
I have
that.
secrets.
Whoa.
But what I mean is, like, on a serious note. Okay,
I do have a son.
Sorry. Okay. But like on a serious note, like the whole parenting with love and logic, like I feel like sometimes I have to ask myself, am I being a good dad? Is this too strict of a punishment? These really do tackle a lot of real life situations and things that we should be as believers and Christians. And just the whole notion of, you have to believe in the Trinity to be a Christian. That's a bunch of, baloney. A Christian is someone who is Christ-like, and to be Christ-like is to, be loving, slow to anger, quick to forgiving. So when you see some of these things, healing from trauma, remembering what God has done, I agree with you, Mike. When I was going there, I'm like, oh, dude, we're going to tackle the John 1:1, John 8:58, John 10:30, 1 John 5:7. We're going to beat the heck out of these verses, and we're going to, build up apologetics to like smoke the Trinitarians. And that's really wasn't what it was. It was, hey, we're all Unitarians. Cool. Let's all come together as one God. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there are other conferences that are more geared towards that stuff. Like the actual UCA conferences are much more technical, theological. And then there's also, I think it's the Restoration Fellowship has like theological conferences. I mean, there are other, some other groups that have more biblical and like nerdy discussions. So
No, right. Absolutely. It was cool, kind of like, because I think a lot of us we're on TikTok and we're arguing against the Trinity like all the time. And like I've had 3 debates, and what was it? The first one was if Jesus like the angel of the Lord. Second one was is Jesus Yahweh, and then my third one was did the gospel writer John believe that Jesus was Yahweh or Jesus was God or something like that. So I mean, it's always like the Trinity, and I mean, like I feel like I'm getting like kind of burnt out. Where it's nice we could just like talk about like human things. We could all come together, sit down. I thought one of the coolest things was to grab a meal, sit down in the cafeteria, and actually eat with like all these scholars. Sit down with Dale, Bill, John. It was really cool to definitely do that.
Earlier we were talking about the unity. And when you sat down with me and that one gentleman that translated to REV, forgive me, but I don't know many of these people's names or them well. And you asked him about Joseph being the father of Mary, his thoughts on that. And I personally disagree with that interpretation and that manuscript. But should that be a deciding factor and of whether or not we should be separate or one? And I learned a lot from him when I first started growing. So that was a time that I enjoyed being with him. But I'm just saying, like, I didn't let that moment separate us, That's a good example of a difference that wasn't important to break unity.
Yeah. No, yeah. And that's the cool thing too. Now that's actually one thing like I like about the REV, where it's literally it's the only Bible that actually translates Matthew 1:16 as like Joseph was the father of Mary. And they do that with the Aramaic text, and only because too, when you count the genealogies, if you count it as Joseph, the husband of Mary, then we're missing a genealogy. It's only 14, 14, 13. So, and then kind of with the Aramaic text and the word there, but yeah, that's where, everyone's going to have some sort of difference, but yeah, the whole unity, it was cool. Now, Tavish and Jesse, were you guys there for the fireside?
I was there.
I was not. I really wish I would have gone, but like, I don't know. I was like kind of just walking around and I was like, I'm feeling really awkward and like, introverted. So I just went back to my room.
No, I get that. I was tired.
The only reason I knew about it is because someone had sent me a text and say we were all gathering there. So I didn't even know about it. That wasn't like on the schedule or anything. I got there sporadically, like by chance myself, I felt. I too, Tavish, was like walking around and trying to find people to like interview and stuff. And someone texted me like, hey, there's a fire going on. I'm like, where?
No, because that was cool. So I started watching a little bit of it. And it was basically just people kind of giving their testimonies. Like, I mean, like Jesse and Mike, like, I mean, how did that feel? Like, because I feel like when people tell me, like, Will, man, I used to be a Trinitarian, but like now I see like it's really not in the Bible. And then you look up, it's like it's nice to hear that because it's like you're not by yourself. But what did you guys think of the whole discussions?
Well, I mean, I asked a bunch of questions, and I think the responses were raw and real, and that's always valuable to people who might be on the fence or who are just not friendlies at all, because then they can sort of have a personalized experience, like hearing about it sort of from the outside, right? Like you're just getting a peek into a raw conversation between Unitarians, right? It's a different dynamic than say a debate, or you're watching a clip from a debate, or like just pretty almost anything you find on social media. So I thought it was great because we're all just people. We're there, we're hanging out, we're getting to talk. Again, it's just real, it's authentic. And then getting to take the video and ask questions was just a bonus, and getting to show that with other people. And I asked them all, by the way, I was like, hey, you guys are okay with like me putting this on my channel? And they were all like, oh yeah, absolutely. So it was good.
No, yeah, because it'd definitely be encouraging just for other people. Jesse, what did you think?
I mean, it was nice hearing people where they came from, and though I didn't really partake in the conversation, I was able to relate to them because there are several places that they came from that I came from, and also I was fascinated to listen to Metaphysics Mike, and I don't remember his name. He has the beard, you know what I'm talking about? The one that was talking about the growth of Unitarianism, the speaker.
Sean Finnegan.
Yeah, early church history. And I was listening to them, and it was really interesting to hear some of the things that Mike was saying about his background and how he came to the truth. And it's like looking into the past myself. And yeah, I did a lot of listening and a lot of admiring at that moment.
Did you guys, when you guys were there, did you get any like contacts from people? Did you build any like connections or?
Well, I mean, you, of course. He gave me
Oh
your
yeah.
email.
So what people don't understand, actually, let me tell you guys how I met Tavish. So I was eating. Tavish ran up to me and he's like, "Oh, you're Wilwaukee. You are my favorite YouTuber. You're way better than Metaphysics Mike, Matthew Jensen. Like you are my favorite YouTuber." And I wish Mike was there to hear it. He was.
That's exactly how it went down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yep. So
I agree, man. I agree.
Yeah, but I actually knew who. On a serious note, I knew who Tavish was because I think you commented on one of my videos, like DeWalt's better than Milwaukee or something like that.
No, something stupid like that.
Some
blue collar joke.
Yeah, it was hilarious. But no, it was cool to actually face to face meet you and hang out with you. And then Jesse, same with you, and Mike, same with you.
I'm gonna see if I can find the conversation Tavish and I had on YouTube. I'm gonna see if I can find it right now, Tavish.
Okay.
Because the first thing Tavish said to me, he was like, "Yeah, we got into it on YouTube."
Yeah, that's how I make friends, man. I just argue with people.
I'm gonna see if I can find it. Your channel name is Tavish, right? It's got Tavish in it.
Yeah. It was yeah.
Was it the video that he and I were standing next to each other in the room that Dale spoke?
Huh?
Oh wait, no. Oh, never mind. I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah, you were.
Mike's on a mission right now.
No, I don't think. I can't find it.
I think it was on one of the shorts. If that's
Was it on a short?
I believe so. I think it was
Was it on one of mine?
it was a clip from your debate with God Logic. And I think
on the angel.
It was the short that was about the angel and God Logic.
Well, I'm seeing 3 different comments now, but that's not popping up. I don't know why. I remember it.
Tavish probably deleted it.
Never.
Did you delete it, Tavish?
I never censor myself. Even when I look bad.
Are you sure that it was on this account, Tavish the Friendly Heretic? I love that channel name. You only got 31 subs, guys. You got to go subscribe to Tavish. Am I sub to you?
And you watch my one video. It's a good one though. In my humble opinion.
Yeah, I'm not trying to derail this, Will.
No, you're cool.
I was just wondering to see if I could find it. He was like, see if I can find it. Because it just goes along, right? Just that's how it was going. It was very raw. We just walked up, Tavish, the first thing. He's like, yeah, we got into it on YouTube. So funny.
Yeah, that's
actually... okay, here it is. Yeah, I see it. All right, so Tavish, you said, Mike, you got to be better on this point. Avery clearly meant that the word translated as angel meant messenger. Yes, he said it that way wasn't super clear, but you should be charitable and then destroy him. And then destroy him. Andrew's arguments were much better. Hey, I'm always open to constructive criticism. Always open. You know, I probably at that time had just assumed that you were like a Trinitarian or something. But yeah, no, that was good.
Well, Mike, those are really harsh words, man. I don't know if you should call another man a Trinitarian. Like that's.
See, I think it's always a good sign because that happens to me a lot where I'll respond to like, a Unitarian, like with a critical point, and like I think it's a good thing if they assume I'm a Trinitarian because that means my like critique is actually like valid, because I want them to think about it and like consider if their point of view is the best one or if they need to rethink it.
Yeah.
So after the talks and everything, then we had, what was it? It was Sunday. And I was kind of sad because I had so much fun Saturday. I thought Sunday would be like all day. I didn't obviously pay very close attention to the brochure, but we had a Bible study in the mornings. That is one thing I'm going to mention. Jesse, you went the first night, and then Tavish is gone. But Tavish also went. Mike, you did not go. I wish the Bible studies had a little more to it. Jesse, I think you know what I mean.
I barely remember because it was like right after I woke up. Yeah, and I was fighting sleep. Yeah, but I think I do vaguely remember that it was very brief and simple. Very simple, almost kind of like a kindergarten teaching.
And I mean, I agree with that. I feel like, and I mean this as respectful as I can. I think a lot of us are as biblical Unitarians. Like we didn't wake up and just become a biblical Unitarian, right? Like we had to really search the scriptures, really test a lot of things to come to this conclusion. So, and I'm trying to say this as respectful as I can. I feel like if you're a Trinitarian, more someone that just goes with the flow, you don't really search things out. But if you're a biblical Unitarian, you have answers to John 1:1, John 8:58, John 10:30, 1 John 5:20, Philippians chapter 2, Colossians chapter 1. Like you have those answers because you've tested these things, right? So I feel like to a biblical Unitarian for a Bible study, I do wish it was more. I do wish there was something more in it. Look at the Hebrew, look at the Greek, look at the words that are being used, pull up a midrash of comparing the root word of one thing to another, draw some kind of connection with a little more substance to it. Because I feel like, especially with us four, we argue and debate on TikTok all the time, where if I'm just like, hey, John 3:16, guys, Jesus loves you. God loves you. And we love God. Have a nice day. It's like, what did I just watch? I just wish there was a little bit more there. But Tavish, kind of, what did you think of the Bible study? Do you kind of like agree or?
What Bible study are you talking about? I'm sorry.
The Bible study. It was Saturday morning.
Oh yeah.
I just wish there was more substance to it.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was fine. Like, it was only a half hour, so there's not only so much you can get into in a half hour. But yeah, it was definitely not super like nerdy or in depth. It was just like, let's read this passage and like see what it says. And that's pretty much it. It's like, I mean, that's fine, I guess. And also like half of it was just like, oh, this person wants to pray, this person wants to pray, this person. So like 15 people like prayed, which I mean is totally fine. Like I'm not dogging on that at all, but that's just not.
Was it a prayer group or a Bible study?
Yeah, like that's not really my jam,
No, I agree with you, and we're not saying, and for everyone watching, like we're not saying like prayer is stupid or anything like that. It's when you have something on here that says a Bible study from 7 to 7:30, like I'm more expecting like, hey, let's go to a Bible study. And like for me, if I was going to do something like in the 30-minute time frame, I would talk about like John 1:1 and I would tie that into like the midrash of the Torah. The Torah pre-existed, and then God used the Torah as a master craftsman, tying the word amon to Proverbs 8:22 of kind of like the wisdom Christology that Dustin brings up. Like there are things that you can do to, you know, even in a 30-minute time to really engage people. I wish it was that. I wish we had more Bible studies. I wish we had more times for the workshops to where it had a 1 and a 2 o'clock. We had something else, and then like maybe a 7 to 8 o'clock workshop where you can revisit some of the workshops that you weren't able to. I think that would be definitely something for Converge or the Unitarian Christian Alliance to definitely look at and maybe kind of alter it like that. And again, what we're doing is we're just giving our honest opinion. We're not talking crap. I thought Converge was amazing, and I'm definitely going to go again. And we're actually pretty excited. So I'm talking with someone about possibly doing a workshop. I want to give a talk on agency at one of the next ones. I believe it's in Arizona. So I sent in my PowerPoint presentation, and we'll see where it goes from there. But I mean, that's exciting, and I hope I can do it. And it's actually the one next year. It's like, was it 40 minutes from my sister? So she lives in Arizona.
That's awesome, man.
So yeah, go to that. I can definitely go to that one.
Well, I wanted to say that I agree. We would go back. My wife and I, when they hold another one here, we would love to go again.
Even in Arizona?
Maybe not Arizona. We just have to see how far that is away. But it was 4 hours away from where we live now. They're in Ohio. And that was enough for us with our 3 kids to say we could probably do that. And we did. So yeah, even despite whatever I might think could have been this or could have been that, we enjoyed it enough that we would want to go back.
Yeah. I'm sad my family couldn't come because your wife was super nice. Your kids were super cool. Your kids were like the same age as my kids. And it would have been awesome for the wives to hook up, the kids to hang out. Like it would have been totally cool. But I agree with you. Next year or one of the other events that they have, whatever. And if you guys are interested in some of the events, if you go to Unitarian Christian Alliance, just Google Unitarian Christian Alliance events. There are no more this year, but there were events in the UK. There is a new YouTuber. Her name is Halal Christian. She's on she's on TikTok, but she's also from that area because she didn't even know that something like this existed. And I had to show her it existed, but it already happened in July. So just things to look out for and to experience and have fun. But we're going to wrap this up real quick. Thank you guys for coming on. If any final thoughts on this and if people should join or not.
I think people should come together to have fellowship, exchange ideas, exchange contact information. Because when I go live on TikTok, there are Unitarians that come to my panel asking, what can I do about becoming a part of a Unitarian church in my area when there is none? And I usually point people to the Unitarian Christian Alliance website where they have a map for all the people who are registered, and you can find people local close to you. And I encourage people to sign up that way so that they could come in contact with fellow believers on a regular basis to strengthen and grow. And so events like this is just a great way to exchange that type of information. And maybe we can get more of those dots on that map, and maybe in towns we would have a church.
Yeah, amen. Definitely. Yeah, they're definitely looking to plant more churches.
Yeah, for sure. Like everyone needs to be on the UCA website. Like no matter what, if you're in a Trinitarian church, Unitarian church, completely by yourself, like we need everyone to be on there. So if we want to start a house church or something, we can get together, or you can find an existing church that's around, or just to see all the people out there, you know, because we are a growing movement, and just seeing everyone around the country, around the world it's an encouragement. And yeah, I would definitely, if there's a UCA conference or any type of Unitarian conference that's somewhere near you, just go. Like, it's not that expensive. It's a great time to meet other believers, you know, that have the same views. And yeah, I definitely want to go again.
Cool. And then
Yeah, I'd say the same. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it was worth going. Shout out to the UCA for making that possible, as well as just even telling me that the event was going on. I enjoyed meeting all of you, as well as getting to hear, you know, Sean and Dale speak, as well as meeting them. And I think we need more things like this. Without a doubt, the more ways people can connect, the more I think people can have better fruit in their lives from their faith. You know, it's tough having to have isolation be a byproduct of just wanting to believe the truth. You know, that's just a common struggle. It's right. We want to believe what's right. We want to do what's right. I mean, half the time, God, I mean, we're at the exemplary examples of exemplary examples. I don't know if that makes sense. We're the best examples of just having, what's the word I'm looking for? Tolerance, right? Allowing nuance, right? I mean, you have Unitarians who go to church at Trinitarian churches, right? Because where else are they going to have fellowship? Like, that's a need in our life. And it's just tough that there aren't more places to do that, right? So I think it really, on a deeper level, it's necessary. We need these things. And I like how even Tavish, you're just like, just go, right? It's almost like the attitude you got to have, because once you do and you're blessed by it, you sort of get it, right? You're like, why we need these things, why we should be doing this. And hopefully it even inspires people to do new events, and we see more continue to pop up.
Amen. Amen. Well, guys, thanks for coming on, and please check out Converge. They are on YouTube. Check out the Unitarian Christian Alliance. A few more shout outs. Check out the Allegiance to the King, the A2K, Compass Christian Church, Church of God General Conference, Spirit and Truth, Unitarian Christian Alliance, Living Hope, Christian Disciples Church, the Toronto branch, and then Align Ministries. Those are all biblical Unitarian, what do I want to say? Like organizations, I'll say. So, but thanks, guys. Thanks so much for giving your opinion. What's it called? And yeah, hope to see you guys at the next one.
Sure.